And I would now like to introduce Ms. Shirlee Smith.
Hey, hey.
Did your mother write children's books?
Yes.
Did she write Sammy? Was there a book?
It's a book dedicated to my Uncle Sammy. She wrote Everett Anderson book. Everett Anderson.
Days of Everett Anderson.
Listen.
Yes.
I love this individual.
No, truly, that's what makes a good program. You know, people in the audience say nice things. Let's keep it that way. Nice things. I have the distinct pleasure of presenting our Humanitarian Award to Judge Marguerite D. Downing. Now that applause is not just for the judge, it is the fact that I got her name correct. So I take that. Thank you. It is not often that I find people in, sort of esteemed positions that are able just to act like the rest of us. And we find that very important. It is a very rare quality. And in my humble opinion, that is why we have so many people left behind. Because those who move on up just keep on moving, and they kind of don't look around. Now, about 8 years ago, we had a Humanitarian Award, and it was called Humanity in the Homeland. I had met this person in Pasadena who is a philanthropist, and the first time I saw her, it was a gathering of mothers at an organization called Mothers Club, but it was in the hood. And everybody in the audience looked like they came from the hood, including me. But there was this lady, and I was like, who could that be? Well, it turned out to be, and she's with us today, so I want to acknowledge Adelaide Hickson. Who was one of our founding board members, and I'm sure that her friends said, "You know that Shirlee Smith?" And I guess she answered yes, because we see she's still one of our supporters. So there are those rare individuals. So Emma told the story of the car wash. Do not stand behind me at the supermarket or the post office or anywhere else. If you see me, avoid me. So I was in the supermarket, and no, that's not where I met the judge. But I was in the supermarket, and something, wasn't quite right. So I put on my hood behavior, and I was like, got loud. And then there was this lady about 5 people back, and while she didn't act like I did, she did kind of agree that whatever was wrong shouldn't have been. So we struck up a conversation, and like Emma, I gave her our brochure, later spoke with her. Joan is in the audience. Get that name right? Joan, Jean, Jane, Joan. The lady with the J. Any rate, so she, I told her about the work we did. She said, "Oh, my neighbor is at Children's Court." I think that's Judge Henry, who's with her. Okay, I need to quit now because I got 3 names straight. But at any rate, so she took me to a meeting that Judge Marguerite has for incarcerated, it's the Incarcerated Parents Work Group. And I was like, it's another Adelaide, just in blackface, pardon me. I do ethnic jokes, but yeah. Because her commitment was the kind of commitment that when Shirley talks about the judge gave her another break, but Shirley wouldn't, she listens. She believes in people, and that's what we all need. So our award is Talk About Parenting with Shirlee Smith, Mothers Behind Bars, The Parent Puzzle, Humanitarian Award, Commitment, Involvement, Support of Diversity. So we thank you. Well, I get to close. And they told me in the back, the first thing I have to say is there is so much food and they did not bring any containers for us to take it home. So we need people to read. Yes, Mom?
Listen, I want to thank you because I see in my child things that I've never seen.
Oh!
I see her at awards like this, and when I read, I just had my teeth done, so that's why I sound like to see the things that you write about her, it just warms my heart.
Oh.
And thank you.
I have to tell you, the things that I wrote about her were the things that she told me. So I just, kind of packaged it together. I mean, listen, this is a woman, this judge, she doesn't have a GPS in her car. I'm like, you go, girl. Yeah, she told me that. Now, that's the nice part about an interview, is when people tell you those little, things that they hope you'll never tell anybody. But yeah, I mean, those are the kinds of things that make you know that a person, well, not because she doesn't have a GPS, but I mean that she would tell that helps you to know that they're real people. I've got a GPS but don't know how to turn it on. So I still have a little note piece of paper and I get in my car and have to look at it. So thank you. I'm going to share some other little tidbits. Some of her colleagues said, they emailed after they got these announcements and they said, is the judge actually going to be there? Like, so who are you? And I was like, yeah, she coming. So that's something else. She did not know who we were. And many times people want to know not only who you are, but who your mama is. And like, well, but who's calling? So thank you for being who you are. And we know that's because of your mother. Okay, in everybody's program, there's like a little slip of paper. And it says that you can be part of the puzzle. We cannot do this alone. And so you have some options there. You can even opt out and just ball it up and throw it out. Or you can mark something of which you think you might be able to participate and help us with this puzzle. The women at CIW, as the warden had said, are amazing. People have said to us, well, why in the world would you go to the prison? We say they get out. Yes. And when they get out, they're not going to know any more than they did when they went in. That's right. Well, don't you feel threatened? And I'm like, with all them guards around? Safer in the prison visiting than walking down my street in the hood. So, we need to stop making this separation of us and them. And until I met Shirlee, they didn't tell me to say all this in my closing. They said, just close and sit down. But until I met Shirlee, some 9,000 years ago, I never realized that parents raise their kids differently. I thought every parent read their kid a bedtime story. Every kid had shoes. Every kid had a mother that hugged them. And now I find out she has to look for her mother. So what do the rest of us owe society? So we'll be happy if you fill out your papers. You can, here comes wonderful Peggy. She's bringing papers. Yeah, okay. Okay, but we have a little surprise for Da-da-da-da. Where's the drum roll? Oh, she's changing her hat. She's coming with a little surprise. Peggy is our illustrious vice chair of the board, and we think it is just amazing that Shirlee should be able to stand in front of a group of people that she does not know. Well, probably because she knows she's not going to see you again. But, to tell her story. And her story is very compelling. You just got a tip of it, okay?
And courageous.
That's right. When she was stealing a car and going to San Francisco, I was trying to convince my mother to get me a J.C. Higgins bicycle from Sears. I'm like, so, this is for you, and we thank you. That's in place of the letter I would not write. I have no regrets. What does a parent say? No means no means no. I want to thank everyone on behalf of our board of directors for joining us in this, I think, very special occasion. So thank you. And if you don't remember anything else about us, remember that we closed on time. Thank you.